Now, for the last 3 years, the River Tyne has marked a political dividing line in the region. The three councils to the north have worked with an elected mayor with powers and some money to bring jobs and investment to the region. But the four councils to the south of the river decided this system wasn't for them, and they've just continued as they were. There was previously a plan to have an elected mayor working with all 7 councils in this part of the northeast. However, despite a deal being signed in 2015, those plans were ditched when the 4 councils on the south of the Tyne rejected that idea. Could that be revived? Could we have a regional mayor for this part of the northeast, similar to the way Teesside and Greater Manchester have elected regional mayors? Someone who thinks that could happen is the current Labour mayor for the North of Tyne area. That's Northumberland, North Tyneside and Newcastle. And Mayor Jamie Driscoll joins us now. Welcome to BBC Radio Newcastle, Jamie.
Good morning, Alfie.
Good to speak to you. Now, you think that a devolution deal for this whole part of the northeast, so from Northumberland through Tyneside and Wearside into County Down, big area, may be possible. Explain how and why.
Well, if you look at what we've been able to do in the north of Tyne, I think it's worth pointing out that all of the councils keep everything they've already got, but me and the combined authority, we're not responsible for emptying the bins or social care, big in the news at the moment. We're responsible for investment, creating jobs. So over the past, 2 years, 4 months I've been in, we've created over 4,000 jobs, all north of the Tyne. Wow. Everybody in the northeast knows we've been left behind for decades. We haven't had the investment that the south side. And that's what we need. And it doesn't matter where you are in the northeast, you want the investment. And everybody agrees on that. So it's the means by which we get that. And you know what? I would love it if government would directly fund the councils. But they've said the only game in town is a mayor. Yeah. And I think people realise that if they want the investment, if they want to be creating more jobs, this is the route to go. But it's for them to decide. It's not for me.
And what kind of jobs? Just for a bit more detail on the jobs that you've created, and they would not have been created without you and your team.
That's right. In fact, we're directly responsible to Treasury, and every job that we claim, we have to be able to show that was directly wouldn't have happened without the investment that we've. It's not just our money; we put it in, but what we're really good is at levering in extra money. So, we might put enough in to perhaps de-risk something so that an investor will put something else in. So these are jobs from the jobs at Verisure up in Long Benton, the jobs at Transmission Dynamics making offshore wind compounds, the jobs that we're putting into the Swans site to clear that. So they're not there yet, but they will be there in future years.
And as far as I can remember, I think it was George Osborne who threw the gauntlet down and said, you're stronger with a mayor. And I think Manchester then took up that mantle. And I think as a result of that, some people would say, well, look at what happened with transport in Manchester. It connected the whole city and beyond. Is that your dream? Is that what you think could happen here if we had more joined up thinking, Jamie?
Well, that's actually on the table right now, Alfie. So in the budget last year, 2020, there was an allocation of 4.2 billion for all the mayoral combined authorities, but not ours, because our transport system, the metro, is obviously part north, part south of the river. So that's kept through what's called a joint transport committee. It gets very complicated. But that means that we can't have that money unless we change it. Now, all of us are united. We've written back to the government, said, for God's sake, give us it. Don't be hung up on the fact that we need a mayor for this. But I'm not sure the government are going to go for that. But it's a headline, 600 million for us in the northeast, north and south of the river. Now, will it be actually 600 million is a different matter, because they have this habit of saying, oh, yeah, but this money you're already going to get, that counts towards the total. But still, it will be hundreds of millions.
What is it about the northeast that a river can divide people? I know this can happen in different cities in different parts of the country as well. But in the northeast, we have had a tribal history, and we haven't worked together as well as somewhere, say, like Manchester. Why? What do you put it down to?
Historically, I think that's true, but why? I don't know. You have to ask someone who was involved at the time. I mean, I've only really been involved in this for the past not even 3 years yet. But what I do know is that throughout COVID, we met, all the leaders and me, every Monday morning to come up with joint proposals, the way we would deal with it. And you notice we stayed out of tier 3 because we were united in the way we approached it.
Yeah.
We've come up with joint proposals for the bids for transport, our regional transport plan. We worked together through the Joint Transport Committee. Martin, a good friend, leader of Gateshead, he said recently, says, I've been in local government for over 30 years and the North East has never been more united than it is now. So, maybe that's the change. Perhaps we're just lucky with the people we've got now. Who knows?
Well, he's Labour, you're Labour. As far as you're aware, is Conservative-controlled Northumberland signed up to this idea?
We're signed up to everybody wanting the transport money. We've all signed up to the letter that we've sent back saying, we haven't phrased it quite like this, but for God's sake, give us the money, stop messing about. It was a bit more detailed than that. But yeah, so in terms of,
what about
Glenn, who's the leader
County Durham is now run by a joint administration, Tories, Lib Dems, Independents. The government said counties like Durham could have elected mayors with devolved powers. Won't they choose that rather than maybe combining with Tyne and Wear councils?
Well, I discussed with all that, because you're right, it's a sort of a complex leadership. There's a number of groups in coalition there. So I've had meetings with them, spoke to them, and they've said, yeah, absolutely, we want devolved powers, we want devolved money. The way to do it, government recently put on the table a county deal, but it's not clear what that is, how much money it will be. If it's a great deal for Durham, then I'm not going to begrudge Durham getting a good deal for Durham. I think, realistically, they'll get a better deal in with us all coming together, but the detail will come out. And when I was meeting with them, I said, look, if you want to go the Durham route, I will happily help you with ministers lobbying, because I want a strong Northeast. And if that means a good deal for Durham on its own outside the rest of us, then that's not a problem. Do
you want to be the Ben Houchen of the Northeast? I suppose in Teesside, he's become this figure who seems to work well with the government. It gets lots of praise for that and seems to get results, some people would say.
Well, I mean, Ben's a big lad. He can speak for himself, but we're getting terrific results here. We've been from a standing start 2 years ago through the middle of a pandemic. By now, should have created 700 jobs. We've created 4,200. I think that's a pretty good track record. Okay, Jamie. Well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and see how it goes. Thank you very much, Mayor Jamie Driscoll.